Hello and welcome back to a vintage story. I have gone along, find just a little bit of mining spot along the way of out and perusing thing. So we are back on the forge in time. I've come back, got some of my crops growing here. It has unfortunately been a little while because I had to take a little bit of a break while schedule change and stuff happening, and finally get back to get into some more vintage story stuff. Gotta keep the population of these guys going up. Fortunately, only one piggy, but we can keep those guys going. And I'm looking for some glass. I'm gonna need to get glass. I've gotten some other stuff here from various places I've gone to. Need to make clay, however, though, to make our bricks, and then we can make it into the bloomeries. So only got a little bit of that sort of stuff. So if I want to get going with the glass, I gotta make sure we get the appropriate things. We got our box with us. We got a little bit of quartz on the way back, but we've gotten some more stones. Got a map, got an actual map. I have the marking of it, but don't really need it. But I wanted to have it so that we could have like the pretty map. Alright, we have had a friend in our neighborhood. He's been kind of out and about. Now he's out sitting in the backyard. And he's kind of running back and forth. I gotta keep him corralled so that he kind of stays in my area. He's been out by the pond, out by the trees, out by the farm. Not doing much, but being cute anyhow. At least it's one visitor I don't mind having around here. We'll make sure he kind of just sticks around over there and not gets lost. Got some of our necessary clay, but of course I need to go over to that bloomery over there, and he's right there, so we'll just kind of slowly make our way over there. Then we can get the latest glass that's been made here with a little bit of clay that I did have. Got a few bricks. I'll make more of that as we go. Got some more lanterns to try to get this place kind of lighted up around here. I'm going to stick our stuff and put it away. Do have this extra box, so I'm going to make this into a crate here with our boards and linen in the middle. Put that back. We can put that stuff back in our box. And we can find a place for this downstairs. I'll stick it right here for the moment. No, not on the ground, in the box. There we go. Each type of box has a different kind of right click, left click, shift click kind of stuff to do. So, got our little pond going. I have tried over and over to put little bits of water, and I thought I got every place, but there's apparently a couple spots that are not quite filled in. It makes a nice little rushing water noise. I suppose that's not so bad. Grab our saw so that we can cut these in half. And apparently we have someone that's been in the basement coming up here. Yep, there we go. Still have to kind of go around and I guess check whatever little holes. I know there was some copper that I found here originally in the area, and so I'll have to kind of like go around in the area and see if there's any places to fill in, so that stuff can kind of hopefully stop happening at some point. But you know, every once in a while you get a free, rusty gear or temporal gear from it, so I suppose it's not so bad. We got our chisel on hand. So I was thinking, do I try to make this all just solid glass? Okay, so it looks like it's only half. I thought that usually when you chisel a half block, it kind of went into I think I just accidentally got rid of that. The chores of chiseling glass is very, very difficult anyhow. Yep. That is what I think happened right there. So I was hoping it was going to be like a full block, because that's kind of nice to do it that way, but they must have changed that at some point. So let's do it on this, because then I don't have to worry about accidentally like getting rid of the whole thing. So it is only a half block of chiseled glass, not a full block of chiseled. So hand planner, will that be the best way to do that? Probably. It's a little hard to tell. I think it is the smallest width. So let's try to make this pretty skinny here without going too skinny. So that is that width. We need it to be, I think, that? Yeah, I think so. So we need to, it's very hard to see, unfortunately. That definitely is skinny. That might be the little too skinny. Let's undo the last one. Okay, so that should be the right width for that little 2x2 kind of like area. And these window panes up above had been pushed all the way to the edge of the block. So what we can do then, make it easy, is to also get it out over here. Compare the size of that. And one more should probably do it. There's the small one. Nope, one more. Is that the right size? I think it might actually be one more. Okay. That should probably be correct there. So glass is tricky. I've tried doing globes and stuff with glass. Ooh, it's so bad. We do need a pantograph. So if I'm going to do any of this, we'll need to get out an ingot and then smith the pantograph here if we're going to decide to do extra stuff. Which I will try to see if this will work here. We will do, I think the wooden, just the wooden planks around this edge will also do the other project I wanted to start working on. Could do a pallet. I think I want to stick with the walnut wood anyhow. So I think I'm going to go around just the whole edge here. And then outside, maybe we'll do something along the cobblestone, or change the cobblestone into something else. Like, I could try a different kind of granite type of stone. The fan is really nice, but I think it would look kind of weird. So we could also get stones and then make them into, like, the bricks. Yeah, that might be something for a little bit later. But the other next project to work on would be getting this boat going, because if we want to like actually go somewhere that's a little farther away, we might want to do that. Alright, we've gotten a few extra things down there, which is fine. A couple more lanterns. We need those lanterns. Slowly but surely getting a few little things done and a little bit rearranged inside anyhow. Let's go ahead. I've gotten a few of these cylinder guys, so go ahead and stick them in there. I had rearranged a little bit of our stuff. No, we can't hear the music out here. Okay. Well, that's okay. And then upstairs, gotten some of our flooring down and start of like our closet. We'll do something over here. Got some new things to wear. Eventually get more candles up there and have it be a little bit better lighting overall all around. And some of our ores have been kind of taken care of because I need to get to that meteorite. Glass filled in because that was like kind of like a big place where things like to come in around here. And slowly getting the pond a little bit reconfigured there. Alright, and then we also have this, not that blueprint, this blueprint. This is the shipwright blueprint, and I usually don't get lucky to find those, so I don't think we did find the flag maker one too, which is also pretty neat. So if I want to get into dyeing and some of the cloth making stuff, I can go ahead and start making some of the banners anyhow. So some of these are like clickable and others aren't. So we need the blueprint with sewing kits and apparently like same colored leather and some cloth, and the ruined segments would be kind of hard to find, but it's possible. Otherwise you can use beams, so that's also pretty good. And we can create beams also if we find the aged logs. We got some of those. However, I was thinking of using the aged logs like in here, like I'll make a little trim to go along with it. So I just have to find it, or otherwise I have to pick a different kind of wood maybe to make for the panes there. But this is the Thunderlord. It's Dave. So we got a whole bunch of kapok, and that's the color I wanted to make a boat out of, so I will make the figurehead out of that as well. And I always kind of think of like, boy, how much do I have to do to make a boat? And it sometimes is more than you expect it to be. So we'll get tools out. Got a little bit of rope. I got some cattails. Can make more rope out of that. I'll probably have to grab more. Papyrus doesn't do too much, but we get a little bit from that. And then we have plenty of linen, and that will come later on, but I don't want to overdo how many planks or beams or whatnot needs to be done. So where is it we need firewood. Okay, that's what it is, I guess. I was thinking maybe it was beams, but we'll go ahead and get some of this normal wood so I don't have to use up any of the kapok, because I think I don't need any more than what I have, but just to be sure, go ahead and do that. Okay, so we just need to right click, but I think we need to just have it on the hotbar actually. So we'll go ahead and start it like that. And right click, so that gets the spine of that. And we start needing planks. So also this plumb and square, very easy, just kind of a thing you don't really have to use very much. I've only used it in boats and occasionally on like a multiplayer server. They do get used for helping claim your items or make it harder to break, whatever the case is. We need a stone. Go ahead and grab a couple of those because each one of those takes a stone, and I think we need 2. Don't know if we need 2 more, so we'll see about that. Let's get half of that. I'm sure we're going to go through plenty of boards, but I just don't want to overdo that too much. So we're going to need little bit of space on there. I don't know if they stack. There we go. Boards and plum. Right click that. And we need more boards. And more boards. More boards. Okay. So we'll need to actually start making some more. Because at some point I gotta make beams too. So I don't want to like use up all the wood. Because we're gonna need more beams. More boards. A couple more for that. And, you know, the boards are going to be useful for later. The beams may not be quite so much, but you can see those plumb and squares in it. Next, a little bit more of that. 40, 44. A little bit more. It gets the wider point of the boat and it wants more boards there. Alright, now we're moving on to the beams. There we go. So we need to debark the wood. Let me find it on there. There we go. Debark it, and then we can turn it into beams. And of course you can get more beams if you happen to have the blueprint for it, but sadly not find those just fine. We're probably going to need to go through a whole lot of that. I just don't want to overdo it just in case. The beam and the saw. Easy, makes 3 of them each. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to make a lot more of those. So again, the process, just kind of debark it with the hammer and axe. Grab our saw and the debarked, makes the beams. Did I make enough? Yes. Okay, now we're back to the planks. And I do have a little bit more logs inside. Just didn't want to flood the inventory. 36 of those. We need a little bit of beam, a little bit of board. There we go. More beams. And I'm probably going to need to go and get our other stuff there. Oh, 14. Yep. Need 14. So we'll grab our other set of logs. It's nice to have all the stuff ahead of time if you can get it. Because it's not like you can do anything with a partial boat. So pretty much just go ahead and get... Were we up to our 4th stack of logs? We gotta have them all be the same thing. Ugh, we have a friend in the house. Probably came from the basement. Because it's possible that some of them can, I guess, crawl in from the outside. And he did not leave me anything. Okay. Not sure if the upstairs will produce anything, but downstairs definitely will. Alright, let's get the saw so we can get some more beams. It's probably plenty, and probably won't use any more beams. There's our light at the other end of our pond here. Stick that down. Beams. There we go. Onto rope. Yep, for sure. Alright, so the way to do that is either we need cattails or papyrus, and we have a good bit of it around here in the pond. It's not all in one area because I kind of try to keep it pretty natural-like. Spent that bit of time to gather that up so we have rope. Oh, there we go. Hopefully, I don't know if this is going to be enough. Oh no, we need more. Okay. So, cattails or papyrus, you're probably going to need a couple stacks. I know there is some exact science, exact numbers out there, so you can figure all that out ahead of time, but having a good bit of supplies is nice so you don't have to stop on that. And there we go. That was the last bit. So the last bit was the rope and the sails bit. So the rope that goes around the sails and that. So now we can launch this thing. Ah! Probably just a little too much sand. It is nicer to have just a straight edge of where you're constructing, but I also, again, didn't want to just disrupt the shoreline much. I know you can reconstruct it afterwards, but this is working, just slowly nudging it off. I could probably get in it and move it, but I'm going to try to get the whole thing in so it doesn't possibly glitch out of there. And then we're going to have a little bit of a trickiness. I don't think we could turn her around, though. Maybe we can turn her around. But I want to get the top part, the figurehead of the boat, put on. And this should also be pretty easy. That's the flag one, and there we go, the shipwright book. Alright, so what are we gonna need? We're gonna need the logs. We're gonna need a chisel. There's our saw, axe, hammer, and chisel. Our chisel's almost gone. I've used it enough. Alright. Can now put some of our stuff away here. So that, even with the figurehead, so that used, I guess, under 4 stacks of logs. The linen was not so bad. The rope definitely took a good bit. Are you gonna... Yeah. I'm like, I need to shift click to put it on, so... And then the boat's a little too high up. Okay. Well, hopefully this won't disrupt the water too much. Add another one just cause. There we go. It's stuck. And messed up my pond. Alright, there we go. There we go. We got Dave at the helm. That's about like my favorite one out of all the shipwright stuff. And if we want to, later on we can add a whole bunch of stuff to it. Put out vessels that we find and a whole bunch of stuff. And then we can finally go out and look around further away. Let's see if we can move this around. So there's different details by clicking on certain things. We can put lanterns on here and such. But we'll get to sailing and find things to find. Thanks for watching, and see you later.